Hi, everyone. I think we're about to get started. Thank you for taking some of your time in Q4. We all know what it's like to close the gap, but we all have some knowledge gaps to close. So I'm really happy to see you all, or not, hopefully. Before kicking off, notably, a welcome to you too, Joanne and Marie. Thank you for being here. We are going to be hosting a 45-minute conversation, and then we'll be followed up with a Q&A.
But I founded this business 7 years ago with the aim of helping one person, one family, one couple to have a better experience in their organization, in their family, or in their social network than I did or we did.
And you mentioned in our previous conversations that at some stage it was very difficult for you to function within the workplace. Can you talk to us a bit more around your experience of being trans in the workplace and being trans adjacent, being an ally of a trans person that's close to your heart?
I had 2 co-directors and shareholders and an operations director, and we had a team of probably 30 staff at the time and a few hundred customers.
I remember one occasion, one late sort of, about 6 o'clock in the evening, the CEO of this company came up to me and said, "Well, why are you here, Marie?" So if I had a problem, I didn't have a good day or something went wrong, I could go and speak to either my manager or HR.
I think if you're working in a corporate environment, a multinational, a big organization, and considering, I think, was it 65% of the UK population who are work for small businesses of less than 10 staff. And I think what we can do is be very individualistic about how we interact with people. So I think that's what we really need to be doing in organizations is making that a well-trodden path, not fresh grass all the time. But the micro-validations are extremely powerful. And just as simple as Marie and I going out for a meal. And I came out to my mum, and she was 79. You go on the internet, ask for pamphlets and downloads on coming out to your parents. If you're a Netflix viewer, Disclosure with Laverne Cox is a really, really powerful documentary about how media representation of trans people back to the 1920s and how trans people are parodied, use the butt of the joke, uses threats and danger that is woven into the media. And one of the characters in the last 30 seconds of the final episode walked up to a building and it panned out and they were walking into a gender identity clinic. And I think despite the fact the world has moved on a lot in terms of trans, non-binary acceptance, I think for any change you do around society, whether it's around the queer community, LGBTQ plus community, or from a race perspective as well, you have to bear the brunt of this back pressure that's coming towards you. I think what we're seeing at the moment with the gender hostile, gender critical people is a side effect of the progress that's being made. And we just have to hold the rope and keep the strain and not let ourselves go backwards. Involve our allies to speak on our behalf, because an ally's word is far more powerful than a trans person's word. The increase in hate crime this year is up 11%. There's 7,000 odd trans critical articles in the mainstream media over the last year. You go onto the Times and to the Daily Mail and all these platforms. It's just pouring out all these attack vectors, whether it's sport, whether it's prisons, whether it's think of the women and children, the threats, all these tropes are being recycled and reused and powerfully done through these organizations have a deep pockets. So we're just trying to live our lives, and we're coming across well-organized, well-funded, negative information all the time. So what is going on in here that is, it's so validating to know you're not the only one who feels this way.
And I think it's really important that you have all these tools and resources, but often you make yourself an ally and it's a hypothetical until you're in it.
So trying to evolve me as a person from belonging here to trying to belong here is a real journey I'm navigating. So if you create environments that help me feel belonging without me feeling uncomfortableness, I don't know how we do that.
So I would say, making sure that you ask the same questions to people in a room.
So those are very easy conversations to get started with, and avoiding the weather conversation as a British person. Move on to those other more interesting.
And we'll be providing some resources, books included, so that if you want to take some time to read, to watch content that can help you learn more about trans individuals, and then you'll have it available.